ladies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Madison and I make videos about ministry, motherhood, and marriage. I'm in the full-time ministry along with my husband and love creating videos for women about biblical femininity and how we can really adhere to God's word in our lives every single day. In today's video, I want to share with you guys over 50 ideas of ways that women can and should serve in their local church and local community. God has such a beautiful design for women and we are able to do so much for him and to honor him. So I hope that these ideas are inspiring and encouraging to you today. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up as well as hit the subscribe button down below. It really helps my channel and helps just boost it so that more women can see videos like this. I just want to preface this video by saying that every church and denomination is going to be a little bit different in their comfort levels with ministry and the way that women serve in the local church. So if one of these things inspires you, I hope that you will take it to your local church leadership and share that idea with them. Really talk to them about it, and as well as just ask them, what are the needs of our local congregation? What can I do to serve in our church here as well as in our community? They're looking for help. It is a hard job to be in ministry, and so please ask them what would be helpful and just talk to them before really engaging in something that's going to have your church name under it. I also just want to say that there are plenty of ways that women can and should serve in ministry. In fact, I think this idea that women don't do enough is typically false. I think that women do so much, and I've actually seen a lot of women fall into places of exhaustion every single day because they're doing so many things in their homes and in their lives as well as in their local church. So I don't want this video to come across like I think that women aren't doing enough. I think that women are incredible and are doing so much. These are just ideas of if you're looking for something new to do or a new way to try or ideas, inspiration, this is what I'm hoping to accomplish in this video. So one kind of easy one, this is basically my job, is that women can lead entire women's ministries in a local church. That's what I do. My husband leads our church and I lead the women's ministry. The women's ministry is under my authority, but then the women's ministry and the men's ministry, the whole church, is under my husband's authority as well as the church leader. But women can lead entire women's ministries. Women can also lead Bible studies. It can be a small group Bible study, a personal one-on-one Bible study. Women can lead other women through learning about the scriptures, helping them to obey. Women can lead Bible studies. In our church, women baptize other women. If you study the Bible with someone and bring them all the way up to that point, women can baptize other women. Women can lead Bible discussions. It may be a women's Bible discussion only, or maybe it's simply facilitating questions to a mixed audience kind of Bible discussion. But in our church, women can lead Bible discussions with a group of women around them or a group of different mixed genders to simply open the scriptures together and ask questions and facilitate conversation. Start a podcast. There are incredible podcasts led by women. One of my favorites is Risen Motherhood right now. I've been deeply enjoying that, as well as Sally Clarkson's. I think it's called At Home with Sally, and so many more. You can be a part of a podcast with a mixed gendered audience or start your own podcast. Incredible Christian women and podcasts are out there. So if you feel so called to do that, start a podcast. Create a YouTube channel. That's what I'm doing here. I love talking about God. I love talking about Christian ministry and motherhood. And so I decided I wanted to start a YouTube channel to start talking about that. Originally, my channel was called Her Pacific Northwest Adventures because I loved hiking and I loved exploring nature, but that really transformed as I became a mom, and now it's really all about God and about my relationships and my life and how those things intercede. So if you like filming, if you like editing, if you like being on YouTube, start a YouTube channel. Become a grief recovery specialist. I'm a certified grief recovery specialist and help people move through their grief in healthy ways and really develop tools to say goodbye to painful memories in their past and have freedom from those things. So look into specialized ministry, especially grief ministry. Grief is something we all experience in life. Become a grief recovery specialist. Start another kind of specialized ministry. There are so many unique and beautiful kinds of ministries that you can start. Start one. Another incredibly beautiful calling from the Lord is to be a Christian counselor. I see a therapist, she is a Christian therapist, and she is incredible. I'm so grateful for that. So if you have that calling, those gifts, those talents, become a Christian counselor. Pursue that kind of career. If that is what God has called you for, you can help and heal so many people. Lead your local children's ministry. Children's ministry is so essential, you guys. There's an incredible book out there called Mama Bear Apologetics, and they were talking about that typically by the time children reach the end of middle school, they have decided to be faithful or unfaithful to the Lord. That is how soon our faith is established in our hearts. So children's ministry is essential, guys. Children are a gift from the Lord. This is not a burden. Children's ministry is an incredible way to serve. So if you love children and you feel called to that and to serve and help your local children's ministry, serve in children's ministry. If you have a gift of singing or talent with a musical instrument, ask if you can serve in your local worship ministry. There's typically a great need for people to serve in worship, especially if you're in a smaller church. So if you have either of those kinds of gifts or capabilities, or just a willingness to put yourself out there and try, ask about serving in your local worship ministry. I bet that people will be very grateful. Compose and produce Christian music. There's nothing that touches and moves my soul in the same way that music does and worship does. It's so unique. It's so just emotion provoking. So if you have the gift of composing and producing music, do it. If you are a mature woman in your church, help the younger mothers and women in your church with life skills, day-to-day things. It could be budget, it could be organization, it could be meals and preparation and food, it could be helping to keep their house clean. Just teaching them how to do different life skills is so essential and helpful. You can greatly serve God in your local church by inviting people to church. Not enough Christians know, but you can invite your friends to church. You don't have to wait for your pastor to invite everyone. You can engage in that. You can invite your neighbors, your friends, a girl that you meet at Starbucks, a man that you meet at the park, wherever you're doing, whatever you're at in life. Invite people to church with you. That is an incredible way to help support your local church and ministry, is by taking on the call of evangelism, of sharing your faith, of sharing your life with people, of extending them an invitation to the church family that you are a part of. Lead a prayer group. You could start this in your neighborhood. You could start this within your church, within your group of friends. Just start a prayer group. Maybe it's once a month, once a week, once a year, I don't know, but you start and just gather people together, come invite them into your home, go on, paired up prayer walks together, but start a local prayer group. Create a local neighborhood group. So there are great apps like Meetup and Nextdoor that are for social engagement in neighborhoods. We live in such isolated times, you guys. We barely talk to neighbors anymore, let alone people walking down the street or when we're grocery shopping. We live so isolated. So many of us walk around with our headphones in and we just don't engage with people. But people are looking for friendships. They're looking for relationships. And a great way that I found is by starting groups on those apps, because people who are looking online and on apps like that. Meetup has been a great source of evangelism for our local church. People are searching for friendships on there, and we host fun events, we host prayer groups, we host Bible studies, so many different options and opportunities for people to come and meet our family. So start something like that, or start a Nextdoor group. That's another app that's specific for our local neighborhood and city. And I've started one here in our small town that over 75 women have joined. We started a mom's play group from that. It's such a great opportunity for engagement with people around you and starting new friendships, talking to people about Jesus, finding people with common interests. Those are just great ways to really branch out and start groups in your local area. If you have a talent or background in theater or production or skits or things like that, try it. Put together a skit or a play for your local church or your local community that talks about Jesus in some way or just brings people together. I think that so many people have those gifts. I did theater when I was in elementary school. My husband did it all through high school, and it's a fun, beautiful, artistic way to bring people together, have fun, sometimes be deep and serious, produce emotion. It's just a really incredible talent and skill that not everybody has. So if you have that ability to gather people and to create a production like that, that is an incredible way to introduce people to Jesus, to your church family, and just bring people together. Maybe theater and skits and worship or singing is not your thing. Maybe your thing is spoken word, or maybe your thing is dance or anything like that. I'm not a huge arts person. I cannot dance to save my life. But you know what? If that is your gift and that is your skill, use it for the glory of God. Create something, put something together, ask your local leadership, I want to use this gift. How can I use it to serve our local church? What can I do? What are the needs here? I want to use my gifts and my talents to serve the Lord. How can I do that here? Asking that question to your local leadership, that will encourage their souls. And it really is it's an incredible way to serve God, is with your talents and gifts and abilities that He gave you in the first place. Maybe your gift is more administration and planning. That is kind of more my gift. I love event planning. I love facilitating fun. I love gathering people together, feeding them, hosting them, creating a schedule for it. That might sound boring to some of you guys, but we need people who will facilitate the fun, keep it together and contained and beautiful and fun and decorated. So if you like event planning like I do, then set up a Women's Day for your church. There's so many different kinds of events that you could plan for your church. Simply address and know what your strengths and your skills are. Again, bring it to your local leadership. Ask, hey, my gift is event planning. My strength is organization and administration. What can I do to help serve the church here? Hospitality is a huge way to serve the Lord. Having people into your home, feeding them, welcoming them, making them just feel so at home and protected, and like your place is a place of refuge for them and protection and grace. Hospitality is an ancient, honored skill and tradition and gift. So do not neglect it. Do not think that hospitality is only for women. Hospitality is a beautiful thing. And I think that it is probably one of the best ways to reach the lost people around you, is by being hospitable and welcoming them into your home. In addition to welcoming people into your home, you could be an usher at your local church. You could be the person who's the face that someone remembers when they first walk in the door at your church, greeting them, welcoming them, smiling at them, handing them a program if it's an event or a service or something. If you have the gift of hospitality and warmth, being the first person that someone sees when they walk into your local church can make a huge difference. If your gift is filmmaking, make a movie, make a production, make a short film, create a series, join a local Christian production company. There's so much that you can do with creating film. I'm just incredibly inspired by a lot of the new content that has been put out by Christian creators. So if your gift is filmmaking, pursue it. My husband's background is in cinema studies. He got a degree in that, and I'm so proud of how he's used his skills to make videos and make disciples. He does this on YouTube. He's done multiple productions. So if you love filmmaking, or this being on set of filmmaking or production, or the background for those things, so if you love filmmaking, use your gifts and talents to create beautiful content that promotes the gospel. One thing that I do not ever want to neglect is benevolence. Serving the poor, serving the houseless, serving the needy in your community is an incredible, incredible, holy way to serve the Lord. It is biblical, it is serious, it is the religion that God sees as pure and acceptable according to His word. So serving the needy and serving the poor, it should be something that we are all doing, but if you feel especially called into that ministry, talk to your local leadership about maybe being the coordinator of benevolent projects in your church. I think consistency is key. Not doing just one benevolent project a year, which I have totally been guilty of not doing benevolence enough in our local church, but creating consistent, ongoing ways that you and the people in your local church and community can serve the people who are needy, who are houseless, who are poor or less fortunate, that you can really serve and love those people the way that Jesus did. Maybe your local church has a large teen ministry, or maybe it even just has one teen, but you feel called to love that young man or woman. Start a teen ministry. Just take those kids under your wing, love them, serve them, feed them, have fun with them, create events that they can bring their friends to, have fun at in a pure and holy way. So start a teen ministry. Teens are an incredible ministry. I became a Christian when I was a teen. So if you have even just one teen in your church, serve them, love them, and start a teen ministry for them. Okay, this one is very close to my heart, but social media ministries. We all know social media is the place that we are all at. It's a huge platform. So many people are on social media. The majority of us are, and the majority of us spend hours on social media every single day. So if your church doesn't have a social media that's incredible and a strong presence, and you have that gift and ability, I'm talking to you millennials, Gen Z, maybe some Gen Xers in there, like if you know how to start an Instagram, how to create it beautifully, how to just start that kind of ministry and be consistent with it, talk to your local leadership about what can I do? I want to help our church grow. I want us to have a strong social media presence. Can I help start an Instagram or a Facebook page or whatever else is out there? Ask them about that. I'm sure they would love the help. Another really incredible ministry that you could start is a prison ministry. I've never been a part of a prison ministry, but I think they're incredibly inspiring. So if you feel called to that, so if you have any kind of family ties or just your own history maybe and feel passionate about that, I'd really encourage you to talk to your local leadership about how to start a prison ministry. There are so many ways that you can volunteer in your local community. You can start just individually. You can host groups of people together. Maybe you gather a group from your church and say, we want to start consistently volunteering in our community. Let's find 1 or 2 or 5 organizations that we want to get involved in every single month. Maybe it's every week. I don't know what your availability is like, but be somebody who really volunteers in your community and helps bring other people along with you into that to serve and to love the people around you. I am a part of the International Churches of Christ, and we have an incredible nonprofit that is connected to our family of churches called Hope. And you are able to start Hope chapters in your local congregation. So if you have a nonprofit that you really want to love and support, or your church has a nonprofit attached to them, start a chapter of that nonprofit in your local church or your community. Or just simply get involved in a nonprofit that you are very passionate about and help your church to really build a relationship with that nonprofit and be consistent with it. I have also known incredible Christians who have started nonprofits that they are very passionate about. Maybe it's a Christian school, maybe it's an adoption program. It could literally be anything. Nonprofits can be incredible ways to fill in the gap between the public and private sector and the holes that get left behind. My background is in nonprofit management, so I'm very passionate about this. The next one is homemaking. Homemaking is like this lost art that we just don't really value anymore and don't really have time for. I think that is a disgrace. I think it's a shame because homemaking is a beautiful thing and it is something to be cultivated and to be really taken with a lot of respect and reverence. It is something that we are all called to do, especially us as women. So start some kind of a homemaking ministry. Maybe the women in your church just need some help and some love and some guidance. Maybe it's teaching the local women in your church how to make a couple of new recipes for their home. Maybe it's teaching them how to sew or teaching them to crochet or teaching them how to garden. I cannot garden to save my life. My husband does our gardening and it is a skill that I really want to acquire because I am terrible at it, but I've recently taken up sewing. I think that these are really incredible skills and arts that have been lost. And I think that we need to start bringing them back. So if you feel really passionate about homemaking, maybe facilitate just some local groups in your church or your community of ways to teach people some of these lost arts. The next one is homeschooling. I cannot tell you how many moms I have talked to, especially young moms who are going, oh my gosh, I am definitely going to homeschool my kids. This is just, the world is going crazy and I want to homeschool and I don't even know where to start. If you homeschool your kids, or maybe you did homeschool your kids when they were still under your roof, maybe start a little co-op together, or start a class, or start a play group, or just start some kind of like an informational group together that you can learn and do things together as you homeschool. I hope to homeschool my children. I'm so excited to do it. I literally cannot wait. And I know that it's a lot of work too. I know that moms need a lot of support through that and togetherness and relationship building for them and for their kids. So if you homeschool, if you did homeschool, or you hope to homeschool, consider starting up a group like that. This next one is a little bit different for every single church and denomination, but I would really encourage you to consider going on a mission team. If you have the financial ability and you have the desire and you feel the calling to go on a mission team somewhere to help another church or to maybe start a new church, Do it. We are here on a church planting in Bend, Oregon, and it has been a crazy, crazy time. But man, I have learned more about God and have just become closer to Him than I've ever been in my life. It's been revealing, it's been exposing, it's been hard, it's been inspiring, but wow, if you feel that calling and you see scripturally that we are called to make disciples and you want to try that in a new location, I'd really encourage you to do that. Maybe it's locally, maybe it's internationally, but give of your time and your heart to the Lord and consider going on a mission team. Another way that you can serve is by doing some sort of a youth academic success program. Maybe you help tutor some of the younger children in your church or younger kids or teens in a subject that you did really well at. Maybe it's just simply hosting tutoring sessions for free, even to, children in your local community or to teens at a local high school who really need help. Maybe it's an after-school program or something like that. Just a way to really give back of your time, your skills, and your abilities that the Lord has given you. A really simple and beautiful way of doing this is just by being a big sister. Maybe it's to a young girl in your church, maybe it's a teen, a campus student, a young mother. These all might be women who are younger than you that you can be a big sister to, or another mother in the faith to, that you can just help train, love, encourage, mentor them. Just reach out to them, love them, take them under your wing. It could be in a very official sense, like a boys and girls club system, or maybe it's literally just the daughter of a friend of yours that you want to help and encourage and love. Be a second source of support to. Or maybe it's a teen in your local community that has been getting into trouble or just needs a friend. For me, as a young teen and girl growing up in the church, having other older women to look up to and to really invite me into their home and their life just was such an incredible experience to me. If you're a writer, consider starting a blog. What is unique to you and something that you feel passionate about might be very unique and passionate to someone else and really enjoy what you're reading and writing. A blog is an incredible way to talk about Jesus, to talk about how He is impacting your day-to-day life and home and family. So if you're a writer, try starting a blog. If you're a writer but blogs don't interest you, write a book. I have considered writing a book for a long time, and there's so many different ideas and thoughts that I have of what that kind of book would look like, but it is definitely something I've considered. So if you are very passionate about writing, or if you're a storyteller, or just feel like I have something to say and I want to put it out there, consider writing a book. If writing a blog is something that interests you, but maybe you don't want to do it on an every single week basis or very consistently, maybe what you could do is just write for your church's website or blog that's already established. That is a really beautiful way to share ideas, to share passions, and a way that really supports your local church and their reach on their website. So consider writing a blog for your local church. Maybe it's for women's ministry, for young girls, whatever niche really attracts you that you're passionate about, write about it and help use it to share the gospel. Maybe your skill set is in graphic design. Create local pamphlets and informational things for your church. Maybe you want to do social media, or maybe you simply want to do like creating beautiful paperwork for your church, or designing their logo, or a welcome packet, or welcome boards, or the decorations that go on the side of where the preacher stands on Sunday, or the coffee area. You could design little signs for that, and just making things beautiful. If that is your passion, to just take something that's normal and make it beautiful, if that's through graphic design or through just using your hands and creating crafts and arts, do it. Make things beautiful. If that is your gift, I love it. I think that would be such a beautiful way to serve your church, is just sprucing things up a little bit. If you have a background in accounting or financial administration or nonprofits, talk to your church about helping with the financial administration or with the board of directors. Volunteer yourself. Just give of yourself and ask, I want to help. I want to fill the needs of our local church. I have a gift in finances and administration. Is there a need for that here? Is there something I can do to serve you guys? I bet that they will say yes. I bet that they could use the support with that. Again, especially if you're in a small church, it's just a really incredible way. Financial administration is something that should not be neglected and really needs professional help with. So if that is your background and you have a couple extra hours on your hands every week, talk to your church about that, about how you can serve for the financial administration of the church. Maybe you've had great success in the secular business world. Consider teaching a professional development class for your church. Consider teaching a class on budgeting, on interviewing, on how to dress for a job or an interview, how to search for a job. If those things are your strength, so many people could really use skills and help and support in really strengthening those things in themselves. So if you feel called to that and you have those gifts and abilities, lead a local professional development class for your group. I think a lot of people could benefit from that, and it's a great way to use the success that God has given you in your life to benefit others. Another type of ministry that is very close to my heart is sexual purity ministries. There are incredible purity programs out there for men and women. Sexual purity ministries are not just for men, ladies. This is for both of us. I need this, you need this. We all need a little bit of help in our purity. If that is something that you have struggled with for many years, are looking for help with, get involved in one and then consider leading a local purity ministry. We have done that even in our small local church setting, and it has really been incredible. The repentance and the restoration and just the growth that I've seen in myself and in our church members has been really powerful. So if that is close to your heart, consider starting a sexual purity ministry. If you are some kind of addiction or drug and alcohol counselor, consider starting an addiction ministry in your church. One of my best friends is a drug and alcohol counselor. Her name is Kelsey, and I will link the video to the interview that I did with her right here because she's incredible and she has served God in amazing ways through her gifts and her background and her story. So if you have a background in drug and alcohol counseling, or that is your story and you're seeking to become a counselor, consider using those gifts in ways to support the people in your local church or even just in your community to bring people together and really help them, support them, and show them the gospel through their addiction struggles. Another great outreach tool is starting a sports ministry. I played volleyball in high school and I did equestrian. I would never consider myself a jock, but I do like some kinds of sports and we really enjoy hiking. So maybe you want to start a Thursday night volleyball group meetup on the app, and you just invite people from your church and your community to come to it, have a barbecue, play some volleyball, and just have fun and talk to people, make new relationships, talk to them about Jesus, invite them to church. If you're passionate about sports and sports ministries, consider starting a sports ministry or a sport Bible talk or something like that to really bring people in and just use, again, the gifts, the talents, the desires, the passions that God has put on your heart. Gather people together and have like-minded people having fun together. It's a great way to just involve people and engage with people in your community. Like I said, we really love hiking. Most Saturdays, my husband is out hosting a hiking meetup. He wants to go on a hike, so he'll start a meetup on the app and invite tons of people to it. Oftentimes, a lot of people of all age ranges will come hiking with him on a Saturday because they want to get out, they want to be in nature. Especially with COVID, it's a great way to interact with people. He did that all through COVID, where they'd socially distance, wear masks, be outside together, be hiking, be somewhere beautiful. And I think it's really supported our family and really supported other people, even through their mental health challenges through COVID, to be out there together and having fun, talking about church, talking about Jesus, talking about the Bible, just making new relationships. So if you're passionate about hiking or literally anything, start a meetup for it, make an event for it, and invite people in your community to it and invite them to church. Like, it's simple as that. It's so simple. It's a way to have fun with people and introduce them to Jesus by doing something that you already all love. If your church has any kind of a youth summer camp, consider being a camp counselor for that. That is such a fun experience. Going to teen and preteen camps for me growing up and just learning about the Bible and worshiping with other teens was an incredibly powerful way to just grow in my faith, grow in my relationships. So if you have a heart for youth, really look for ways that you can serve maybe in the summertime as a camp counselor. I have amazing friends with backgrounds in social work. I think social work is another amazing way that you can serve the Lord. Again, there's just, every career has opportunities of ways to serve God. I think that's great. Maybe your background is in social work maybe your background is in social work. I think that there are so many careers that allow you to really honor God and use the things that He has placed in front of you and the gifts that He's given you and the jobs that He's given you to glorify Him and to really just have your own personal ministry wherever you are. Maybe your passion is to serve those who are sick and dying. Consider volunteering at a local hospital or hospice center. some where that they're meeting those needs, and consider volunteering your time. I volunteered at a local hospital when I was in high school for almost a year, and it was a really incredible experience for me and just way to love people and meet the needs of our healthcare workers. COVID has been a crazy time, especially for healthcare workers, so I think that volunteering at a local hospital or hospice center is a great way to serve both the sick, the dying, and the healthcare workers who've really been giving so much of their lives to help us and to keep people healthy. Maybe your background is in mental health, or maybe you struggle with mental health as well. Creating some kind of a support group or ministry or educational program for that is another incredible way to support and to love people in your local church, as well as the community around you. Those are my ideas. I hope you found them helpful, inspirational, maybe got a few new ideas of ways that you can serve your local community or your local church. I hope that this is encouraging to you, ladies. I think women do so much work already. I do not want to add to your load, but I do just want to always encourage us to consider how we can be serving God and honoring Him and helping our local church that we're a part of. If you are not plugged into a local church, get plugged in. Find a church that is a Bible-based church that preaches the Word of God boldly. It is so important, guys, that we have a church family surrounding us and that we are actively serving that church family. I hope that this video was helpful and encouraging, that it gave you some new ideas of ways to use the gifts that He has given you to serve Him and His people in return. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up and hit the subscribe button down below. Again, it really supports my channel. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next Thursday. Bye.